Satnam, I'm Nirvair Khalsa, and Happy New Year. Here we are in 2017. This whole year with the video meditations that we're going to be doing, these will be from the Yogi Bhajan Library of Teachings, and these will be Kriyas that have never been written up before. We had this grant from this yoga teacher in upstate New York that allows us to have 3 people to work on this project this year for 2017, which is very exciting for me. So we're looking at old videos and we're writing up these things that have not appeared in KRI manuals before this. So every month this year we're going to be practicing something that hasn't been written up before. This one that we're going to be doing today comes from January 28th in 1997. He mentioned the idea of long life several times, longevity. He also mentioned that you would have fearless endurance, something I think we all need in 2017. And he also mentioned prosperity. This brings prosperity, so it's a great way to start your year. The Kriya has 2 parts, and the total amount of time is 19 minutes. So for this month, commit to the 19 minutes. If you're going to cut back, usually what our rule of thumb is that you cut back evenly in either the exercises in a physical Kriya, or if it's a multi-part Kriya, you cut back proportionately. So let's say this first part is 11 minutes. The second part is going to be 8 minutes. If you want to spend less time doing it, then you would cut it, let's say cut it in half, 5.5 minutes for the first part, 4 minutes for the second part. But why not do it the whole 19 minutes with me this month? So this is a fantastic Kriya. What he talks about is actually really fascinating. And he talks about the challenges in life. And he basically says with every moon cycle, you have a challenge, right? So, once a month the moon goes through its whole cycle. So at least you have 12 challenges during the year. It can be anything from, a sick child, some illness yourself, a challenge in your work or with your family or your environment. The challenges will come because this is what life is. He says these challenges represent themselves as squares, as blocks. And the way to get through them is through diagonal. It's one of these themes that Yogi Bhajan talked about a lot in his teaching career, is diagonal management and cutting through. It's really how white tantric yoga works, with diagonal energy, so that you can cut through the squares of life. It's actually kind of an astrological term, but you can cut through the blockages as represented by a square. And how he says to do it is you don't relate to them, right? And so what he really means is, from my perspective, is that you put it in perspective, all right? You recognize that the challenges are going to come, and you're vibrating at a frequency so high that they can be incorporated into your entire lifestyle, and you can use those challenges and those blocks not only as learning experiences, but just as the joy of life, of being able to confront things and to actually triumph. And so he talks about this in terms of self-trust. He says in this particular Kriya, said, everything in life is diagonal and has a cross diagonal. If you cut out your block, the cross diagonal becomes 2 triangles. This cross diagonal personality, which you can develop, can take you through every pain of life and give you a sense of prosperity and fulfillment, which will make you absolutely happy. And then he goes on to about the difficulty in this is trust, right? Self-trust. Says you have to trust, may not trust anything, but you have to trust yourself. You have to build the trust in your own Atma, in your own soul, so that you can allow the Paratma, God, to come through for you. So you can create that balance of polarity that really allows you to be a yogi in this lifetime. So it's really a fantastic Kriya and a great lecture. I hope you get a chance to take a look at it in Espanola, New Mexico. So the first part of this Kriya, he uses the mantra Hud, but it's a little bit different than the way you're usually chanting Hud. Usually that Hud sound, that R is a little bit like a D. You're using the tip of the tongue and it's more towards the front of your mouth. But in this case, what you're going to do is you're going to actually turn your tongue back a bit, and the tongue is going to go up to the roof of the mouth, to the upper palate. And so the mantra comes out like ha-ra, H-A-R-A, instead of just H-A-R, hara. And so you go up. And so it sounds like this, hara, 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 hara. And both of these parts of this Kriya use that mantra, chanting Hud in that way. Now, the very first part, after you do the tune and mantra of Om Namo Gurudev Namo, you're going to place your hands in a bear grip, left out, right in, and you're going to have the forearms parallel to the ground, and you're going to hold this at heart center height, a little bit lower like this, and keep a firm grip. You're not going to pull super hard, not until the end, but you're just going to have a firm grip. And you're going to hold this position and you're going to rock back and forth, kind of using, you're not actually moving the pelvis, you're actually moving the spine, almost as a pivot of the sit bones back and forth in time to the mantra. Right? Eyes are going to be focused at the tip of the nose. And so the whole thing actually looks like this. Hara, 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 hara. It's really, it's soothing, and it actually, what he says, it puts you in a state of ecstasy. It's fantastic. Then right at the end, you're going to pull on the grip as hard as you can, 3 times, holding the breath in for 10, 15, 20 seconds as you pull on the grip. Right? That's part 1, and you'll do that for 11 minutes. The second part, for 8 minutes, is also interesting. You're going to use the mantra hara again. You're really going to flick that tongue up, the tip of the tongue. You roll the tongue back and bring it up to the upper palate, the roof of the mouth. But the hands are going to be like in this prayer mudra, but your thumbs are going to be crossed. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a chopping motion all the way to one side, starting left, coming back to the center, going right, coming back to the center. Right? It's going to be held comfortably, but I'm going to show you up high. And so you're going to go to the left to begin with, and then to the right, back to the center, and then to the right, and then back to the center. And you're going to do 24. He mentioned that this is just like 24 hours in a day. So you're going to do, 12 off to the side, and then 12 back, and then 12 to the one side, and then 12 back. And you're going to chant that mantra 12 times to this side, 12 times back, 12 times to this side, 12 times back, and then you're going to chant a loud Hud when you're in the center. And that's all done on one breath, right? So I'm going to demonstrate exactly how it looks and sounds. The eyes for this, he didn't specify, so you can just keep them closed. So it's going to be like this. Hara, 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 hara. Take a breath. And then start again, all right? And it has a really fascinating effect. What it does, from my point of view, is that you're almost making a cutting notion, and you're bringing the creativity and freeing yourself from anything that may be binding you from this creativity, from this prosperity, from shortness of life, from you're creating this navel center strength of endurance within. And you'll do this for 8 minutes. Right at the end, he has you inhale, hold the breath, and then do the same chopping motion on both sides all the way. And you do that 3 repetitions with the breath held in. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then you exhale. It's a little bit of a challenge. You have to hold your breath for a pretty long time, suspend the breath, and then you do that 3 times, and then you're done. So this will appear in the Library of Teachings. When you register, of course, you can, have access to all 300 plus Kriyas that we have on the Yogi Bhajan Library of Teachings, and this is going to be up very soon, and so you can read about it when we do get it written up. But on the other hand, just practice with me this entire month for fearless endurance for 2017, for prosperity in 2017, for the ability to really adjust our challenges by keeping our frequency so high that we're able to cut through anything that comes our way, month by month, year by year, whatever life has to offer. Let's just be grateful for it this year in 2017. Sat Nam.